Thanks, Dr. Porter. I was standing here, I was just looking around the room at different people that are here and the opportunities that we've had to work together on different projects, different initiatives, different policies, things that came up in City Council over a decade and 2 decades. But we've never really pulled everything together. And that's really what I'm hoping this is about. The community has identified 3 key areas that we need to do a much, much better job. And the first thing you have to do to solve something is you have to admit that there is a problem. And there is a problem. We have 2 Pittsburghs. And we have a Pittsburgh where there are people, almost 25% of them, that have no access to the other part of it. There's no ladders of opportunity being created. That it's failing. And we've got to do something to fix it. So if you're a big developer and you come into the City Hall and you say, I want to build a 50-story skyscraper, you don't get sent to building inspection to get this permit and then meet with somebody in the planning department and then meet with the person. It's sort of a one-stop shop. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a one-stop shop about giving young men an opportunity to be successful. And that means that everyone in this room, everyone that is a part of this, has a role to play. We're going to look at where we are failing in education. And I know it's not the mayor's job to educate children, but the moment that they're out of that classroom, they're mine. When they're walking to school, they're mine. When after-school programs are happening, they're mine. On the weekends, they're mine. On the summer, they're mine. I'm going to make sure that they have every opportunity to succeed on that time they're outside of that classroom. We're going to make sure that they're being trained for jobs, meaning not just being trained, but knowing that these are the jobs that we're going to invest in. Where's the workforce going to come from? And working together with institutions like this, CCAC, to make sure that both are coming together. If we're going to create a policy that would give an initiative to people to put solar panels on their roofs, then we're going to go into the neighborhood and we're going to train 200 kids to put solar panels on roofs. We're going to find and work together to create jobs and opportunity, then provide extra training and skills so those salaries are higher than the salaries that they're getting right now. And that means that we're going to have to work with corporations and foundations, and we're going to bring them into this as well. And then the final part of it, rebuilding the relationships between the Pittsburgh police and the community. Meaning that we need to get to the point where we are at where young men know the officers by name, where officers know the young men by name, where there is a true feeling, not just on paper, but a true feeling where there's trust both ways. That's going to take some time. It's not going to happen like turning on a light switch. And it's going to be our folks here, from our chief to our commanders to our officers, that are going to be a part of making that happen. And there's going to be initiatives that we create where folks get to see officers outside of their uniform in different types of setting and get to see them as people, and the officers get to see the kids and think, hey, that was just like me when I was 18. And that's going to take some time, but we'll get there too. We've got these initiatives. President hit it. What he was talking about when he created this was a model in Chicago that he saw that worked. A model that actually was able to break those cycles of poverty and to give people an opportunity. That's it. Give people opportunity. And he said, we got to find what's successful, and we've got to start doing it in city after city. We've got to find what's working in Pittsburgh. This isn't just a checklist of all the failings. This is like, you know that program? I can just say right down here, Manchester, with what Bill Strickland is doing. We got to replicate that in other neighborhoods. Job and opportunities, training and education, and giving people an opportunity for a career, not just a job. But how do we do it? Where do we do it? How do we prioritize? What's the first thing we do? The second thing we do? The third? What I'll do, I'll go knock on doors. I'll knock on doors to raise money. I'll knock on doors to the big skyscrapers downtown that have letters on top of them and say, this is how you can help us. This is the way that we need to help to make sure that this program succeeds. And just like that The example I gave you before. This initiative won't have to go in silos to this department and this individual and that. It will be run directly out of the mayor's office with Dr. Porter, with LaTrenda, who's somewhere here, with all of our staff that is working on this. So there's one stop to get everything we need to make this successful. We got an opportunity. We're going to actually help people. We're actually going to save some lives in the process, too. But the most important part of it is we're going to put this together as a team. And we're going to find out and determine from your input where we start and what each of the next steps are. What are the priorities? It can't be a 200-page book. It has to be narrowed down to, once we get this done, then we have to get to this. Then we have to get this. Then we'll put it out there, not just to the White House, but to the community. And that will be our report card of whether or not we've been successful and whether or not we've actually been able to help people by providing that opportunity. So there's a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. But what I can assure you is all the resources that will be needed to make it happen will be there. So I need your ideas. I need to know what's working, where we need to do more, and what the priorities are to work on education, workforce development, and building the relationship back between the police bureau and the community. So I wish you a lot of luck today, but this isn't one meeting. This goes on for the next 4 years of this administration. We supply the White House back a report. I think LaTrenda told me 120 days from the official certification of October. So we got a few months to put together the Pittsburgh report to the White House. There's weekly conversation with the White House. They are very interested to see where we're going to take this. My hope is that when we do submit it, that it's at the top of the list. And if we can get that type of support out of Washington, it will make it a lot easier to get the financial support that we'll need from the other entities to do it. So thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for caring. And thank you for understanding that it's not going to be done just by government. It has to be every organization, every individual in this room reaching out. And we'll bring the other partners as well. Thanks.